Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new review. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Happy Fragrant Friday. This, of course, is the channel that welcomes you to your weekend because I put new content out every single Friday. This is going to be another review, but let me just say quickly that I've got this week and next week of single fragrance reviews, and then I'm going to step back and do a few top 10s, actually, just some different episodes. I'm going to step away from the single fragrance reviews and do a few lists. And so I'm going to do a top 10 fall. But then I'd like to ask you guys if you have any ideas that you would like to see for either top 10 lists or to explore any sort of list or anything, any topic that you would like me to pursue. Please let me know, and I will be looking at that later on for September and perhaps even into October. So since last week, we have had yet again, folks, we have had an extra large size of boba tea tapioca pearls worth of new subscribers. And actually, that sentence will make sense later in the episode. So when you think of the huge amount of tapioca pearls at the bottom of boba tea, we have had more than that since last week in terms of new subscribers. You know, that took me way too long to say, actually. Welcome aboard. I really appreciate it. I am a small yet spirited channel, and I have a 5-spray rating system, of course, and then for every review, I give the same number I give out of 5. I actually spray that onto myself or dab it onto myself at the end of the episode. So again, I'm not sponsored, and so I'm on, like many of you, a very, very tight budget. So one of the things I like to do in my channel is to really sit back and think, would I truly invest in this particular fragrance? So I do have to be rather nitpicky. So as I said, I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And if you like the content, send it on to your fellow frag heads. Always give me a like, and I love to read all the comments I get and have the back and forth chit chat that we do throughout the week. So thank you very much again. You've seen the title and you have seen the description, so you know that this, of course, could only be Thé Noir. All right, no, I'm kidding, and I will go into that. So this is, of course, this Thé Noir Vent Neuf. So my alter ego, if you've been watching the last few weeks, I have an alter ego, super fan Ben, that I put in the bonus feature. He will not be making an appearance today, okay? But if he did, he would call this Thé Noir, okay? And I'm going to say, let me just jump right into the nomenclature right now. This is my first Labo fragrance, by the way, that I have reviewed, and I will be talking a little bit about the house in a second. But I want to just go ahead and hit this straight on because I'm gonna show you this first, and then I will put the bottle to my left, and then after that you can see what I mean. So check out. See if you notice. See above the E. See how there's an accent there. So this is called Thé Noir Vent Neuf, or Black Tea 29 in French. All right, you saw the accent, you're witness. Okay, now so there is a picture of the bottle. Do you see the accent over Thé Noir? Do you see the accent here on the label? Yes, you do, but you don't see it on the bottle. So one thing about the nomenclature is too many people are going to say Thé Noir 29. I don't like that. I understand it's minimalism, etc., but please put the accent. It matters because it looks like Thé Noir 29, and it's not, right? It's obviously an homage to black tea. So this is Thé Noir Vent Neuf, or Black Tea 29. And then I'll also, before I get to the notes, I do want to say on the nomenclature too, so first of all, they need to put the accent on the label. All right, the end of story. But frankly, when it comes to the all the notes in it. I know it's an homage to black tea, but I don't even like the name, actually. I would call this Black Fig 29. So you're probably thinking, oh, did he look that up? I did look that up. So in French, fig is la figue. Huh? It's always better in French. So it's figue. So I propose here and now, Figue Noir Vin Neuve. Figue Noir Vin Neuve. I think it should be called Fig Noir 29 because this, my friends, is a fig-based fragrance. And so you might think, okay, what's the tea element if there are no tea notes in it? Here's what I think. Okay, I'll put in a drum roll because this is a big moment. I thought about holding this content back only for my VIP subscribers who donate and send me money on Patreon, but I actually don't have any. So I'm just gonna, I spill the beans. I give you all of my knowledge. That's what I do. So here's what I think's happening. I really believe that there are two guys who own who founded the house, right? Two guys. We are fully in hipster mode here, okay? Fully blown hipster mode, and I will be talking more about that in a second. So imagine these guys are in New York. That's where they're based out of, New York. And also Grasse, France. Looks like grass. With an E at the end. They are sitting outside, and it's just the grass has just been cut. Okay? Freshly cut grass. Wink, wink. They're sitting outside and they've ordered a new subscribers. Boba tea, correct. They've ordered a boba tea. You guys know it has milk, ice, tapioca pearls at the bottom, or jellies, and what else? Sorry? You? Correct, black tea. I feel like they were sitting down and they were saying, you know what, we need to come up with a new fragrance. And they smelled the freshly cut grass. They were enjoying boba tea. And they said, you know what, why don't we create a fragrance that encapsulates this very moment? TCG. Hashtag in the zone. Okay? Because I think that is exactly... So here's the thing. It's not just tapioca pearls, though. Okay, for me, I used to get. There was a drink, boba tea. Obviously, it has black tea, milk, ice. But instead of the tapioca pearls, it used to have watermelon jellies at the bottom. Okay, and this smells exactly like that drink. It smells exactly like boba tea with the watermelon jellies at the bottom. And I feel like that's what's going on. So imagine right now, New York City, total hipster place, sitting outside, freshly cut grass, enjoying boba tea. But instead of the tapioca pearls, you get the watermelon jellies. It's just straight from TCG. So let's talk about the notes. But I wanted to talk about the nomenclature first and clarify the little the problem. Move on to In fact, if Labo is listening, I will go on record right now, because they're hipsters, I will go on record right now and say this. If they change this fragrance to Figue Noir Vin Neuve, as they should, I personally will rock a man bun in the following episode after I find that out. Right now, you heard that. I will rock a man bun just for them if they change the name. So the notes, you can probably guess what I'm going to say. Fig. In fact, if I were to do a top 5 all-time fig, because I love fig as a note. I love fig as a note. One of my favorite notes. This would make my top 5 fig notes. So, the black tea, I'm hoping I'm right when it comes to the boba tea, but if not, this is a fig. Make no mistake, folks, this is not a tea leaf-based fragrance. This is a fig-based fragrance, and it's a very, very fruity fig. And here's what I'm thinking. I looked, so I did not pick up the bergamot. I want you to know that. But I feel like the fig and the bergamot must be combining into getting almost like a watermelon smell. And because it really is a fig, but I really pick up some sort of watermelon element to it. And it was really eating at me. And then I remembered the watermelon jellies in that boba tea, and it smells exactly like that. So you get fig, bergamot, and the opening notes, a delicious fig. Very fruity, fresh, top 5 all-time fig fragrance right here for me. Then you also get cedar, and then I think what's happening is the vetiver and hay and the base notes combine to give off the freshly cut grass smell to it. Okay, so that's why I was giving you the scenario in which they were inspired to create this fragrance. So now, good news abounds when it comes to longevity projection and sillage, because the longevity was very, very, very good. I got a 6 to 8. I was very happy with that. I've mentioned before, I am right now in the heart of summer, so I'm coming in and out, walking around a lot outdoors. It did not dissipate. It held up very well, and I can only imagine that during the spring and fall, I would even get better news. So if I can get 6 to 8, closer to 6 now, with a sample in very, very hot weather and humid weather, I would easily get a work shift out of this in the fall and the spring. So happy with the longevity. When it comes to the projection, also very, very content. I'm not getting a lot of unsolicited compliments now because everyone around me, of course, is wearing a mask. So that said, I really, really liked it. This is one of those fragrances, we've talked about this before, where I was, walking around. I found myself smelling my wrist, and also you can see we are almost dry as a bone. So I really enjoyed this fragrance. Every morning I looked forward to wearing this. I will let the cat out of the bag a little bit, but of course, when I have 4s and 5s in my rating system, usually I wake up and then I'm really looking forward to wearing that scent. It's going to help define my day, a 4 and a 5, and this certainly did that. I really enjoyed wearing it. I'm sad to see it go. It was great. So the third thing would be sillage. Sillage was also quite good. This is something that if you were coming in and out of rooms, I personally see this more as a spring fragrance than a fall. That's just me. But if I see this as very much a wedding reception, going to a wedding indoors, of course, in a church, and then after that you would go outdoors, maybe to a wedding reception. You would be talking and mingling and socializing. Not watching football. No, we would never do that. You would be socializing the entire time during the reception. And so people would notice it. You would get unsolicited compliments for this fragrance. Absolutely. It has a very natural feel to that. In fact, let's go ahead and talk right now about the house a little bit. This is my first Labo review. They're kind of like the Creeds. They use a lot of very, very mostly or all natural ingredients. You guys can correct me if I'm not using my terminology correctly. But I'm going to read to you a couple of things. Okay. So you heard me say earlier that these guys are two guys that founded it are total hipsters. So you're probably thinking, okay, he's going to bust out the M&Ms, and you might think the candy. Are you plain or peanut? Let me know down below. No, M&M when it comes to this channel refers to minimalism and manifesto. Oh yeah, just like Orto Parisi, it is manifesto time. I love Labo's website. It's fantastic. My favorite house when it comes to the website. I looked at it practically every day this week. Really enjoyed exploring the business model. I believe in what they're doing. This is another thing that might surprise you. I usually complain about the price. This is a niche company. I think it was $286 for a 100 milliliter 3.4 ounce, if I'm not mistaken, on their site. And this might surprise you. I would pay that. I was thinking before I started recording that pretty much what I think is like $1 a day is kind of my max, right? So I'm looking at for a 100 milliliter 3.4 ounce. If you go over $366, in case it's leap year, all right, then I'm probably going to cash in my chips. But I can pay quite a bit, especially for something like Jubilation 25 by Amouage that absolutely, in my opinion, merits the high price tag. This one is in the 200s, and I would pay that. I think of course it's too much, but it's I believe in their business model. I like what they're doing. I appreciate the house, and I really liked this scent. Okay, so let's check out, and in editing I'll add some music here, some backdrop. This is a big moment. You're emotional, and I don't blame you. It is manifesto time, my friends. In fact, maybe in the future, every time there's a manifesto, should we have a little drinky poo during? All right, no, maybe not. Anyway, manifesto. So I'm going to read it, and here it goes, and it's called Manifesto. Yeah, we are really in hipster zone here. It starts off, we believe. All right, here we go. We believe that there are too many bottles of perfume and not enough soulful fragrances. We believe the soul of a fragrance comes from the intention with which it is created and the attention with which it is prepared. We believe that fine perfumery must create a shock, the shock of the new, combined with the shock of the intimately familiar. We believe that fine perfumery must be irreverent, not irrelevant, irreverent. We believe it is more humane to test cosmetics on New Yorkers than on animals. Should we put in some applause for that? Yeah. We believe celebrities should pay full price. That's right. We believe the future of luxury, hence of perfumery, lies in craftsmanship. We believe in the soulful power of thoughtful hands, hand-picked roses, hand-poured candles, and hand-formulated perfumes, and handshake agreements. We believe in the passionate souls who work close to us. We believe in Hafiz's take on life. Act great, dear, always act great. We believe New York made us this way with a dose of wabi-sabi and a few lines of Thoreau. We believe we/you, okay, we/you should put away our modern tools and take the time to smell the roses along the way. We believe that we are only young once, but we can be immature forever. Finally, and we believe that explanation kills art. Therefore, forget about all of this. You know, I love manifestos. I really do. And I was so happy that this house, Labo, has a manifesto. So then they go on. One thing I want to say just really, really quick. I won't belabor the point here, but I also wanted to discuss this. On their website, of course, they have the manifesto. They have about the two guys. They have about the company. They have stunning photography, by the way. I really love all the pictures, and they show for each fragrance. They have, the notes that are in them with the actual items, and it's really, really nice. I love their website. Absolutely tip my cap to them for that. And then they also have, I'll quickly say, they have a fragrance newspaper on there, which it's like in PDF. You can actually read it as if it were a newspaper. And you can check that out if you go to About Us and then click on, what's it called? Le Journal. There you go. So we've got more French. Le Journal is a newspaper. Again, you can just get it on. You can just read it there. So it's virtual. You don't have to get a physical copy. And they have a lot of news about fragrances. I read it from cover to cover. I really enjoyed it actually, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I particularly liked. They have it's called 4 Trends Obituaries. There's an obituary section, and I think for lack of time I won't read all of them, but I wanted to read 2 of the obituaries for this particular edition. The first one is called Single Use Anything. You cannot sustain a relationship with anyone who is unsustainable. Whoa. Refill your water bottles, refill your full-size perfume, refill your Botox, and please disassociate yourself from single-use packaging. Okay, so we have bid adieu to single-use anything. Now, be careful here because I have a lot of women who watch the episode as well, and This one's for the ladies. It says they are officially bidding adieu to smoky eyes. So get ready for this. What was once a makeup staple for looking like a fancy airbrushed raccoon has finally given way to a natural post-pandemic glow. Okay. For a dark and sexy eye area, we've realized that getting less than 6 hours of sleep yields the same results, RIP. So, of course, they're injecting a little humor into the magazine, into the newspaper, as well. But I really liked it. Le Journal. And I appreciate the website, the business model, the photography, everything. So, normally, I'm not a big fan of minimalism when it comes to the bottle. They actually just put a label on, and it looks almost like a medicine bottle. I will say, though, that again, I'm going to step away from my normal, preferences and say that I actually appreciate that about this company. I don't mind the minimalism here, and I'll tell you why. On the label itself, you can get, it says compounded, and then it puts the person and place of where the bottle was filled. So this one, the example they give, of course, is in Nolita by Kate. Then you can put your own name, there's a 4, and they will put your name on the label, which I think is cool. And then they also have a fresh until, and then they put the date when it is no longer fresh. So I really do like that. I don't normally buy into that kind of minimalism, but in this case, I do. So I really enjoyed that. Very different company, different feel. Really enjoyed wearing this fragrance. So when it comes to the gender, I find this one to be unisex. And I would actually say this one is, for me, it's not that it's feminine, but I feel like it would just I think it would smell better on a woman than on me, although I really liked it. So I'm going to say 55-45 this time of people who actually own this fragrance. I think would be 55% women and 45% men, and you would want to include me in that in the future, because I would definitely want to get my hands on a bottle of this because I enjoyed wearing it. Certainly not too feminine by any stretch of the imagination. Basically, right down the pike, unisex in my estimation. But I was thinking to myself this week, I do think it would smell extra fantastic on a woman's skin, and I absolutely loved it. So we're going to go 55-45, very, very, very close here to being full-on unisex. So when it comes to age, I would say there's nothing really here that stands out. I'm going to go ahead and say let's go ahead and say 18 and up. I think I actually could see some college students who are in fragrance wearing this, and I could see any age on up. It really is nice. I think it's more of for seasons, I think it's more of a spring, fall, but I actually, as I said, I would wear it more in the spring than I would the fall. That's just me. That said, though, it did very, very, very well in the heat. So, of course, it could be summer. This one is not. I wouldn't call this one a sexy scent. I just think it's a very well done fragrance. And so there's the occasion is literally anything. When it comes to day, night, office. This is perfect for office. This is perfect to go out. This is a highly versatile fragrance. It's not clubs. I mean, you just wear this. I could see a lot of people having this fragrance as their signature scent, actually, because this one is highly versatile. Practically, think about it. What more do you want? I mean, it's unisex. It's practically for any age, and it's highly versatile. So that really speaks to what a timeless classic this one is, especially if they change it to Thé Noir Van Neuve. So when it comes to my rating, this is actually quite easy. This one is a robust 4 out of 5 for me. I really like this one. I would like to have it in my collection. I felt like I couldn't give it a full-on 5 out of 5 just because, it would have been nice to have beast mode. I mean, I'm just being very nitpicky here. And then the thing for me, I think that makes it merit a 4 is what I mentioned earlier about the actual name. I understand what they're doing, especially if I'm unlikely, but if I am correct that they had this vision of boba tea in New York City. All jokes aside, I feel like this should be called Thé Noir. I think there should be fig in the name instead of tea. There are no tea notes in this, to my knowledge. So that's a bit quirky, and I think it's a bit misleading, especially compounded by the fact that they don't put the accent on the bottle for the THE, which is French for tea, and so you're left with something that looks like the Noir 29. So we're going to go 4 out of 5. If they changed it, you're hearing it right here. If they change it to Thé Noir Van Neuve I would consider bumping it to 5 out of 5, and I would also rock a man bun in the following episode after they have contacted me. This is big news. This is big news. Probably not going to happen. Okay, so if I'm going to say 4 out of 5, I'm going to go, you can see here, I'm going to go dabs, and I'm going to, just like last week, I'm probably going to have some actual dabs followed by some, let's say a couple of dabs followed by a couple of faux dabs. So we will go 1 on each wrist and 1 on each side of the neck for, of course, Thé Noir, of course, Thé Noir Van Neuve. Yeah, I'm really not getting too much out. I can rub it in. Al won't mind because there's really nothing here. These are faux. And that speaks to how much I really like this fragrance. Sad to see this one go, folks. 4 out of 5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everything. And always remember, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. All right, so welcome to the bonus feature. I didn't want to belabor the point because I knew I was going to go over and this would be a lengthy episode. So I want to just quickly say now in the bonus feature that yet again, the folks in the Bay Area were in the giving mood. So if you've watched my last few episodes, I reviewed some creeds that I got from Saks Fifth Avenue. Pablo and Rafael were nice enough to give me many samples and I reviewed them and I really appreciate that. I mentioned that I told them I was looking for another fragrance, which was Uomo by Salvatore Ferragamo, and I was not really in the market, and they were still kind, gave me samples, talked to me for a long time. So the same thing applies to this one and the next week too. For Labo, I went to Westfield Mall in San Francisco, and I went to the Nordstroms. So if you are in the Bay Area, please check out, if you are in the market for Labo or Diptyque, check out, her name is Dinah. Dinah was very kind. Nordstrom, like I said, Westfield Mall, Nordstrom, San Francisco, Union Square. And Dinah, same situation. I told her, I asked her if they had Uomo, and she said no, but she showed me the Diptyque section, and she also showed me the Labo, and she gave me 2 samples. Very, very kind of her, and I wanted to give her a shout out. And as I said, if you like Labo, and if you're in the Bay Area and or Diptyque, please buy your fragrances through her. Her name is Dinah. Very, very nice. And she reached out, gave me the samples, and so I have this week and next week. Really appreciated this one. Looking forward to next week. I won't reveal what it is. I'm going to keep you guessing there. And for the 8 of you who stuck around for the bonus feature, thank you very much. Peace out, YouTube.